Welcome back, everybody.
We're going up. We're going all the way up.
We've been talking about nostalgia and shit on the last two episodes of this, and magazines for some reason. Do you want to say anything about the game now that you've been playing it for a while? Any observations?
Speaking of nostalgia, the newest fucking Pokemon cards have been the artistic recreations of the original Pokemon cards. I'm addicted to them. I don't know what it is, man. Just getting those cards.
Can I explain in more depth exactly what you're describing?
Sure.
So the original Pokemon cards, there was originally the base set. It was like, how many cards was it? Like 70?
Sounded like 100.
There's like 100 cards. How many Pokemon though are covered in that first set? In any case,
that's a bunch.
Back when Pokemon, first came out, there was the card game, and there was the first set of cards, which did not cover all of the first 150 Pokemon. The second
the Pokemon
set,
that are missing are weird. Like, it has like Ghastly and Haunter and no Gengar.
Yeah.
Weird shit like that.
The follow-up sets, which would be the Fossil set and the Jungle set,
the Jungle
I
set.
think, were finished off the rest of the first generation of Pokemon, but they're now recreating the first set, but with it's all the same pictures from the original, but they're updating the movesets because the game has evolved so much, and like the modern Pokemon cards are so much stronger than the old ones, and the old ones are completely useless. So now
That's really hard.
Now they're readapting the old cards into a new set, and Victor and Hope, why don't you tell this part? The rest of everything.
We're collecting. we've been buying Pokemon cards for a few months, and then this new set came out, and it's just like we've been hooked on Pokemon cards, but now it's like the fact that they look like the old ones, and it's like the booster packs look the same as the original booster packs too.
Oh,
so like those have the same art, and something about that, like the Pokemon cards never invoke nostalgia for me until the booster packs looking the same, because that. Like, I just had these flashbacks to being a kid and holding a pack of Pokemon cards and being like, holy shit, I'm so excited to open this right now. Like, more than I've ever been. And it could have a Charizard. It could have the Charizard
It could have the Charizard.
And, like, I want that fucking
How hard
Charizard,
are you going to flip
God
shit when you get Charizard?
I might cry. I will be so fucking happy. I won't even use it. I'm probably going to give it to Hope, because we share all our cards, and so we can build our decks better. Which is another fucking beautiful thing about
you haven't even
these cards.
okay, to clarify, Victor, you haven't talked about the Pokemon card thing on the show. I don't think we haven't done a show in months. Why don't you get into the whole Pokemon card thing?
Me and Hope are obsessed with Pokemon cards. That's all there really is.
You've said a lot to me about that. My god, it's so cool to have a person I can play Pokemon with.
I was about to say that, and then you interrupted me and told me to explain that when I was.
Well, I didn't know what you were gonna say next.
But yeah, it's like. My entire life I wanted to play card games with people, but it was always like, Shade was always too young and didn't really get it, and Conrad never wanted to spend all his money on it, but I've always been super fucking into card games, particularly Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd love to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh!, but Hope's not gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh! with me.
Yu-Gi-Oh! is such a nightmare these days.
But the fact that, like, Hope started getting the Pokemon cards because they have nice art and they're super cute, and so I was able to get her into the game aspect of it too, and now we're like, We're pretty fucking hooked on that shit, and it's great because we share all the cards. We just put them in one box at her house. We both buy like 2 packs every week or whatever, so we collect them fast. We build up these decks. We really spend time on them and get them right. We have money where we can go to the comic book store and they have it like rare cards are like $1, so we can just be like, oh, well, we can get this guy for $1 and a booster pack, and now we're making our decks perfect. And then we get these, like, excellent decks to the point where we can't put anything new in there or we're gonna, like, upset the balance. Right. And so we move on to another set, and it's, like, the most fucking fun. It's the best thing. There's nothing more fun than collecting a card game.
Yeah.
It's satisfying and rewarding. Not really, but I mean, it's satisfying.
We were so into it as kids.
Yes.
Like, it was...
I never stopped being into it, is the thing.
Right.
Like, I have never stopped being into card games. It was always just a matter of, like, money.
Yeah,
and a matter of not having anyone to play with.
Like, it's that playing card games is fun. If you have one deck, if you each have one deck, you can play, like, 3 or 4 matches and you'll have a good time. And then maybe a week later you can play 3 or 4 matches and then you're fucking done with that deck.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to have fun is if you keep
building the deck. Yeah. You have to have a new guy to put in the deck. You have to make your strategy better or it stops being interesting. It's the constant evolution that makes it fun. And like the excitement of buying packs and getting a card that you go, you know what, I bet I can use this, or I bet I can put this in that deck which isn't as good, and like constantly build them up. And that's what makes it fun, because playing the game isn't as fun as building the decks. Building the decks is the fun part. That's the strategy.
That's why a lot of people refer to card games that, like, especially the modern ones, deck building games. Yeah. But
then you have stuff like that Witcher game where it's just about building a deck without actually buying any cards, and that's not any fun. This level is hard as shit, dude.
I know some people who are bunny house way into some Gwent, man.
Yeah, but in the Witcher game, you collect cards, but then they released the physical version where
it's just the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just the set, and it's like, that's not any fun. You want to be able to collect them.
Well, yeah, but that's also the biggest, like, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, that, like, for me, whenever there's a group activity that everybody's into, I can't do it unless everyone's taking it seriously. Uh-huh. And, like, with card games, it's like, you constantly run the risk that this is how it went with, like, me and Boyd, for instance. Yeah. Me and Boyd both go, like, we're gonna start playing Pokemon cards and collecting them. And then we both start buying them, but then if one of us is like, I don't feel like it, that it falls apart.
When we were playing, it was like no one ever really wanted to play the game.
Yeah, we would buy cards all the time, but nobody wanted to play because we could never have enough to build a good deck. Like, you have to buy a lot of cards before you can really do anything.
You don't really. You just have to make sure you're buying in the right set and that you get the right.
But we would do stuff like we'd like buy a starter deck. And then you'd buy, like, a pack of cards next week, and then you're like, there's no cards in this that immediately service my deck.
You gotta get the deck with, like, 2 packs, and then, like, you gotta get, like, a couple packs a week, or you get 1 pack and then 1 card that you know you can put in there. You know, you buy the singles at the comic store.
It's really funny watching your methodology of dealing with that enemy. Which
I was like, fuck it, I'm done.
Was to completely erratically not predict his pattern, and then finally to just jump past him.
I couldn't focus on, like, what he was doing.
Oh, who's that lady?
That's the princess or whatever.
We gotta save her.
Oh god,
what the fuck is that thing?
This thing is crazy. Oh, I'm dead. I only have 1 health.
That's like a Chinese myth dragon.
It really didn't, like, fill my health. It's super hard to fight the bosses with the 1/1 too, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. Oh, this dude is fucking hard.
I forgot that there's a power-up system in this game where it's in all the
So when you game over, you lose all your power-ups, so it's like it hurts.
Yeah, it makes it harder. That fucking breakbeat though, going break-tastic.
This dude is fucking just a mess, man. It's a catfish robot monster.
90s techno is really funny to me because, like, so much of it is, like, just looping a sample and not, like, doing anything with it, you know? Like, because I guess at the time it was novel enough to hear, just the regular breakbeat, which now you'd, like, if just this breakbeat was in a song, you'd be like, I've heard this song before, you know? But these days it would be all chopped and screwed and do all this crazy shit to it to make it interesting. But there's so much stuff from the 90s that sounds exactly like this. Like Prodigy. I was listening to some Prodigy songs.
What? I beat him on my first try. How did I spend like 1,000,000 tries on him before?
Not your first try. You died with the 1 hit.
Well, yeah, but I didn't have full health. Fuck yeah, dude. I beat his ass.
I'm the fire starter. Twisted fire starter. Yeah, Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards are great. Card games are amazing.
Yeah.
Still tempted to go and, like, play against middle school kids in the comic book store, but nah. Seems like most people are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering.
Whoa, this level is
they still do the card game leagues and shit.
The Pokemon ones?
I don't know if they do Pokemon, but there's, like, if you go there on a Saturday, the place will be fucking full of people playing card games.
Which places are you going
Comic Kings is really...
They just like bring out tables in that other
they always have
over there?
Like a bunch of tables out and people are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering. There's a lot of places that are Magic focused, but not a lot of other games.
Yeah. Well, because Magic's like the adult card game.
This is like Rainbow Road, man.
It is. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Me and Hope have a...
It's called the road. It's called the
some
Rainbow
friends who are
Road.
like competitive Magic the Gathering players, but I'm like way too intimidated to try to play with them. It's the kind of thing where they know the scene really well and have been playing for like fucking 15 years and like I already
this song.
I already hate socializing with nerds so much, and like I know it would just ruin these people for me if I tried to get into their fucking Magic the Gathering boys club, and like it would be horrible.
I think you could possibly stand to get over your aversion to nerds. I think you could.
Perhaps.
I think if you spent more time with nerds,
it is intimidating to me. I don't know.
Them.
Just like, I guess I've had such just poor experiences through my life of dealing with other nerds that I just really don't even want to bother.
Victor hates nerds.
I really hate nerds because I'm a fucking dweeb. I'm not cool enough to hang with the nerds.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it in any more detail, but
I don't know, nerds bother me. They always have just like this certain weird attitude where they're like they were excluded from shit in their life, so now they have this like
chip on their shoulder about the things
chip
they
on their
like.
shoulder about their like, nerd community
like
and their nerd friends.
I think it's partly that, and it's also partly like what I find hard to deal with in a lot of people is when they have taken having a hobby as a substitute for having a personality.
Yeah.
Like where there's people who all they really do is like, you know, they play this game but they're not funny. They're not interesting people on their own.
Uh-huh.
Like I think that's why like there's a lot of failed Let's Players out there, right?
Yeah.
Because what they don't appreciate is that it's not about being able to play video games. It's about being able to be a conversationalist or be funny, you know.
And I'm also like, I just
want to
have
amazing
fun,
at video
know?
games.
I just want to play a game and have fun, and like that's why I like playing Pokemon with Hope, because we're playing a game and we're having fun, and we don't know the whole game, we don't know every aspect, we don't know every card, we don't know the strategies. We're just playing Pokemon and having a good time. And it's like I know if I play with these other dudes, it would just be like, you know, they know the game super well, they're gonna know all the plays. If I'm doing something wrong, there'll be a chuckle, and like I can't stand that. Yeah. It's like having like Don-san sit over your shoulder watching you play Dark Souls or something, or Shade, where they know it so well that they're just kind of like really watching you.
There's different levels of engagement with something. Some people engage with it on a very technical level where it's all about like, you know, how well you know the thing, and like that's, you know, Brandon Tolentino, he can talk to a lot of people because they play Street Fighter. You know, like he could be friends with someone who plays Street Fighter on the basis they're playing Street Fighter. Doesn't have to necessarily like you as a person, but he will play Street Fighter with you, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like it's all about the people. It's all about who are you and are you interesting and fun to hang out with, you know? There is no like intrigue in just discussing a thing, you know?
I don't want to talk about the game. I just want to play it, you know? I like to play the game and have my own strategies and not really like look into anything about it. Which is why I don't do any sort of competitive games, because it's just like, it just seems like such a hassle.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out where these platforms want me to go.
I think you were on point with the flower. The flower seems obvious.
Let me bomb
the giant
these,
blue flower
these
seems like the clear way to go here.
I mean, I threw bombs at it.
Try to get a bomb in it. You were not throwing at the top of your
There's
arc.
like two ball things. Let me do one of these.
Yeah,
I
there
hit
you go.
both things at the same time.
Forgot about that technique there.
Yeah. Look at that. I was gonna freeze it. Fuck yeah!
Oh, that's fucking
bitch.
cool.
Fucking cool.
And the music changed. Oh, that's fucking sweet.
That is rad.
We have witnessed a magical gaming moment just here.
Anyways, yeah, I don't like talking to nerds.
Yeah, that point
That's the bottom line.
But so I just wanted to let the audience know that the reason there hasn't been any Digibros in such a long time is not exactly because we have been extremely busy.
Yeah.
That's part of it. I've been the most busy I've ever been.
Me too.
The last couple months. Like, post RadCon, there was, like, moving Ben and Devu in, RadCon itself, all the editing of Rad content, all the fucking videos I've written lately, just keeping myself extremely busy. And Victor has been as well. But the more prominent reason specifically to cut out of Digibros time is that Victor barely lives here anymore.
Yeah.
Victor really lives with Hope now. Oh my god, this fucking level looks amazing!
It's pretty
60, holy shit!
60-40 favoring Hope's house.
Is it even that much here?
I mean, I'd say I'd spend... Lately it's been a little weird, but usually it's 3 days a week here. Or it's that...
Dude, this level is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
There's a few times where it doesn't seem like I'm here because I worked all day and all I did was sleep here.
Right.
Or, like, sometimes if I just work all day, I'll just stay at Hope's house anyways because, like, I'm gonna hang out with her the next day, so I just skip being here entirely.
Yeah.
Or, like, I just wasn't anywhere for an entire day. I was working.
Yep, Victor and Hope are a power couple these days.
Yeah.
Even when I do see you, you're often with Hope.
Yeah.
It's usually like the two of you show
stop
up
by
together.
because I need to get clothes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why there hasn't been as much Digibros, because Victor spends most of his time with Hope.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yes, and that's why all the Pokemon playing, because they're always around each other playing Pokemon.
Yes.
I assume that when you guys are at Hope's house, all you do is make chimichangas and play Pokemon.
Make chimichangas and play Pokemon.
Because every time
we've only made chimichangas twice.
It's somehow both times I've heard about it extensively.
Yes, because it's a magical experience that always burns the roof of your mouth.
Well, what else do you guys make? If not,
we make all kinds of shit. We make all kinds of like marinated chickens and like, we make food. Rice-a-rotis, a lot.
Well, I just assume all you do is make food and play Pokemon cards.
Well, really, all we've fucking done is watch The Office forever.
Oh, yeah,
we're finally on
that.
the last season. We're on season 9, probably like episode 13 of the fucking Office. We're almost done. It's really one of those shows that I'm like almost fucking sick of it at this point. Or it's like it needs to end.
You're basically in the house hole, except it's the office hole, which is what happened to Jesse when
The Office is weird what it does with its... The final season almost feels like the worst to me in terms of what it does with its characters, and it's confusing, and I just want it to be over. Because I'm just like, why... like, I understand why they needed to keep it going for so long and have it end a certain way that it's building to, but like, I wish they had done it sooner.
Yeah.
Like, season 7, fucking, what's his name? The main guy leaves.
Right.
So like,
Steve
Carell leaves, and it's like, he was The Office.
Right.
So you still have, you still care about most of the other characters, but it's not the same thing anymore, They're trying to make it last with the other guys, but then it's just kind of like, but it's not as good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They should have canned it.
It's definitely not as, like, when you watch Parks and Rec, it's like a perfect show that's a perfect length, and it wraps up in a nice, neat bow.
Parks and Rec is is totally different from like anything else. Like, when has there ever been a show that is so perfectly wrapped up like that?
But it's because of, I really think it's their experience in making The Office that made that show perfect. Because it's the same thing. Almost some of the characters are the same. Like, the personalities are the same. Right. But they do it in a way that's just perfect.
Well, I mean, Parks and Rec, to me, is like... And I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen a lot of it. And to me, it feels the closest to, like, what an anime would have done.
Yeah.
Like, whereas... With American shows, it's usually about how long can we keep it going.
Yeah.
How long can we make this
how The
show
Office
last
was, because
before
it's very much
canceled
like
or just not fun anymore.
It was meant to be an episodic comedy first, and then like the plot elements are kind of just to have something to keep you going along and make you feel like you're invested in it. Whereas Parks and Rec feels like an actual continuing plot line that's going somewhere.
And like another good example for one that I think that I have the same problem with as like a Raising Hope. Like that to me is like the or
garbage American
or
comedy.
even the one My Name Is Earl.
Yeah.
You know, like it has
creators.
It has an interesting story like that at first you care about, but then it just never seems to be going anywhere. Yeah. Like it's just spinning its wheels forever. They make it
so that it spins its wheels forever. That's the goal. And that's kind of how The Office was. It was just like it's not really meant to be something that ends or goes anywhere.
Whereas Parks and Rec is like really tight. Like even though individually the episodes stand on their own, as you go through the show, it's constantly making progress. Yeah. There's always something changing.
The characters in that show develop and they stick. That's the best part, is that
there's no reset button. There's no like back to square one. You know, there's no everything's just the way it was the next day. Even a show like Futurama, you know, does a lot of that, where it's like there's this overall sense of progression in Futurama and character development, but it keeps resetting itself in little ways and not really making progress. Parks and Rec is like, if two characters get together, they're now together, and that's what the show's gonna be about now.
They do some of that in The Office, but it's just like not as great, because there's the characters of Pam and Jim were from season 1. They're the cute couple, and it's like you know, Jim wants to be with Pam, but she's got a fiance or whatever, and that's like what drives the first 3 seasons is how are Jim and Pam gonna hook up, and they're super fun and cute, and they're the endearing characters at the beginning of the show, but then at the end of like season 3 they get married, and then they have kids and stuff, and they just get progressively less fun and interesting as it goes along, because it's like their story's really over for the most part. They got together, now they're not as interesting anymore. Yeah. And then like
Parks and Rec never lets its characters get interesting.
They stopped focusing as much on them being like cute and fun in the same way. This level's actually really hard, but I need to focus.
We're about to finish this episode anyways.
So yeah, it just progressively throughout the show, I just dislike those characters more and more, and now in the last arc, they're like finally having a big conflict, and it's just like, whatever, just please wrap this up. And then the other relationships aren't as interesting either.
Well, anyways, that's it for this episode of Digi Bros. We'll see you in the next one. Pause it.